and we were paying 2,000, we would pay extra 250 for that new resident that the base rate was 2,000, and then we'll pay a little more, an extra 250 because once we had a resident. So if the place was licensed for 5 people, we put five. Once we got 5 residents, he was getting the base rate, the base rent, and then also 5 times 250. So he was. It was a great relationship. We worked it, and we set up the property. We did everything. We had the license, the furniture and stuff. There was very little changes that we had to make to the property. It was one level, so all the rooms was on the first floor. We didn't have to do any chair lifts, stair lifts, or anything like that. Just put a basic furniture, the state required furniture in the property, and eventually got licensed. And then that's how we, in a nutshell, opened up our first facility, our first private residential assisted living community or facility, whatever you want to call it. And that's it. And then from there, obviously, we were able to, save money, and then eventually buy a home. And then the first home that we bought, we also converted that to an assisted living. And that's been like the strategy from here on out. We buy a home, convert it to assisted living, live in it, buy it, live in it, convert it to assisted living, move out, and then so on and so forth. And that's kind of like my long-term investment strategy for my retirement. That's basically my retirement plan, to continue to buy homes and live in them, get them set up as assisted livings, and then transition out of them, and obviously bring residents and staff in, get it state get the state license, and move on to the next one. It's nothing. I mean, I can say it pretty quickly, but it doesn't happen that quickly. Obviously, it takes time to, get approved for a loan, get your credit up to where it needs to be. You have to have a down payment in place. You have to find the property. That takes time, working with a realtor. But once you get everything in place, it shouldn't be, as difficult as your first one or your second one. Your third or fourth one are going to be a lot easier. So right now we'll just kind of jump into. That's pretty much how we got into it. If you guys have any questions or comments or something, if I may, because I want to get to this checklist so we can kind of add some great value and not just kind of go over what we did, but like an actual checklist, the stuff that you're going to need. But if there are some things that you have questions about, feel free to ask us via email. You can even send us voice messages on this on the podcast app. So I'm gonna jump into the checklist to open a successful assisted living. And the first thing you want to do is get a business plan together, outline your budget, your vision, your marketing, everything you plan on doing to get that actual facility set up, running, the numbers, the costs, the fixed costs, everything that you're going to need to get it ready to take a resident in. You want to write it out, have it outlined, so you kind of have a roadmap and a vision and a plan and what direction you're going. Most states, well, I know the states we've been dealing with, they want to see one as well. So we do have a template business plan for assisted living in our assisted living starter kit. And yeah, the business plan is the first thing that you want to set up. You also next you want to figure out what the state requirements are. You just go to your state's website. Some state websites, I'm gonna be honest, are very difficult to find and stuff. So if you're not finding it pretty quickly, it's probably buried into some kind of codes and all of this stuff that you have to decipher. Just call down there, tell them what you're doing. Call your Department of Aging or your health department, the state's health department, and just ask them for the assisted living application for residential assisted living. If they don't use that specific term, because they use different terms around the country, just let them know that you want to provide medical care to seniors in a home environment, and you're looking for the licensing for eight residents and below, because when you start getting a little bit over eight 10 and 15, the zoning changes, the fire inspection and reporting changes, everything changes. So start with, when you asking them and you're trying to go in and figure out the state requirements, use a lower number for residents so you don't get sent down the wrong track. And you'd be looking at how to open up a nursing home or something like that. So, because like I said, some states don't have the same terminology, but once you explain it to them, they should be able to help you. So you definitely want to get the state requirements, and then if they have training, go ahead and take the training. The training is they usually have a list of certified or verified vendors or nurses usually are able to administer the test or the training. So you just have to get the state list. Again, this is only applicable to the states that require the training. And if your state does require training, they usually have a list of people who are in your state or in your area who are providing that training. And again, it's usually nurses. And once you figure out the state requirements and you get your training, you want to start looking for an actual property. At this point, you want to contact your local realtor, get in contact with a mortgage broker. Usually, your realtor can connect you with a mortgage broker. And if you're going into the direction of purchasing, and if you're just going to lease, all you would need is a realtor to help you out. Why we choose to use a realtor opposed to just going on Craigslist or just going online or just looking for rental properties to fit our criteria is that a realtor is going to streamline the process. You could just simply tell them your criteria, tell them your state requirements and what the state requires the property to have as far as like zoning, the square footage per room, stuff like that, and tell them the communities and the areas you want to be in, and they could begin to send you the list of these specific properties. And also what they can do is they can begin to negotiate and communicate with the owners for you. So you're not out there calling 100 people every day trying to, schedule, first get them on the phone, get their number and schedule visits to go check out their house and then negotiate the lease and and all this stuff. You could use a realtor to do all that stuff as long as you have your realtor up front, understanding what he or she needs to do to meet these state requirements for your facility. He or she can then go into the marketplace or go into the MLS, was the multiple listing service, and find those exact properties that you're looking for, and then they can start sending them to you. You can look at the pictures and stuff online, the listing online, and the ones you like and the ones that you feel like will fit the criteria. You can schedule. You tell your realtor to schedule the visits, and you guys can start going to check out some properties. And then from there, the properties that you choose, you put in offers to the you let your realtor make an offer to the homeowner, the landlord. That's if you're going to lease, and if you're going to purchase, the same requirements. The same way that you're going to be working with the realtor. The way you're going to be working with the realtor doesn't really change purchasing or leasing, but the only difference is you're going to be making an offer to purchase and you're going to be making an offer to lease. And you never ever take the offer, whatever they put on the retail, nobody never pays ticket price in real estate. So just a rule of thumb, if they say they're renting it for $1,700 a month, offer them $1,500 and you guys negotiate from there. If when you do start making offers on properties with the lease, from the leasing perspective and not owning or purchasing, you definitely want to make sure that your realtor is giving them all the information up front on what you're trying to do and letting them know that you're looking for a long-term lease. And that can also help with your negotiation. So once you got a property, either you put a property on contract to buy or you lease a property and you're excited about it, then you want to start, obviously finding your furnishings to get the property, the furnishings that you need to